could stare at this all day. Guys, welcome back to Building with the DM. I am your Dungeon Master Blake, and I'm here to show you how to make some stairs. Now, last time we were in the building video, we were actually making these dungeon tiles. And the stairs are built in a similar way. You can have them on top, or you can have them on the edge. So, enough of that. Let's get into it. So, what you're going to need is your cup for your paint, your 2 paints that you painted everything else to do with the dungeon or whatever you're painting, paintbrush, a pen, a ruler, a box cutter knife, and what I use this time is craft glue or PVA glue. Now, I don't have 2 different brushes because what I like to do is I like to, well, obviously paint on first, then wash this out, then paint over with this, just for the fact that I need it to dry. So that's why I've only got the 1 brush. Let's get into it. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to use the same foam that I used for the last video because it still has that square. So I'm showing you how to keep using resources that you've already used. So for this one, we're going to make the stairs. So the rule of thumb with this is that you're always going to use the measurements inside. Remember, if you have one of these grids, they're going to be an inch each, so 2 miniatures can sit here. So you know that that's going to be 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step. So I always like to do it 4 inches and 4 inches long, 2 inches wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over to me. Put it here. Going to do it from this side because I'm using it, so I'm just going to go from here. Just go flatten that, make sure it's flat at the top. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So put a dot there, exactly like how you did with the corner here. Alright, so that should be 2 inches in because you counted it and you actually flushed it up. So, do the exact same thing as we did in the last video. Grab your Stanley knife, the same in and out motion, and you should get it done. So now I have my tile. I'm just going to put it up to here, make sure that it is as close as possible as it can be into the actual thing. If you have some off bits, like I do here, you can always just brush that off. Just 2 seconds. Just use your fingers and push it away. So now, one thing I do like, I like cutting the first one 4 inches. It's just because, so 1, 2, 3, 4, it's because I like having my stairs always being 15 feet because there's going to be 3 different layers. So I'm going to cut this end off. So all I have to do is grab my ruler. I don't even need to measure this or anything. I'm just going to butt it up with my lines. If I was to measure this, then you would just draw a line. But for simplicity's sake, I'm going to skip that. So I'm going to cut another one of the 4 inches because what I want to do is use 2 platforms, one for a later video and one for now, because it's going to use the most. This is generally how you use them. If you're going to make multiple of these, then you can use all pieces for the same reason. You just make sure you line it up to make sure it is as close as possible. Shit looks good. So now what I'm going to do, put this directly here, right down the middle of this. Make sure it's lined up. If you don't have one of these boards, remember, measure it. It's 4 inches, so you want to go 2 inches deep. Going to do, which you could have done this before, you can make them like the tile and then it might be easier for you, but I like doing after the fact because what it allows is for further detail and it just looks a lot better. So do exactly what you did with the last one, draw the lines. So I just want to focus on here, 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 and here. I guess I could do it at the back if I wanted to, but I'm not too fast. Because what this says is now when I place this on here, it's now showing me the detail of that. There, there, and there. And that's what I want. So, do the same with this one. Now everything's ready to go. The PVA glue is going to dry slowly on it. I have this one, which actually has a nozzle where I get to decide where I put it, and I do spread it out with the paintbrush just to make sure that it gets a nice even coat on it and it's gonna stick. So, let's start gluing. Now, one thing you want to do when you're gluing is you just want to make sure the lines match up. So that way, you know that you've got exactly what you want. you want to add a little bit of pressure to where the glue is, just so that way it bonds and it knows what it wants to get. It clicks down, pushes down every little bit that you actually want to be towards it. Then give it a little bit of time to dry. Now it's dry, all we need to do is paint it, and that's what we're going to do. You can chip in and do some detail like we did in the last ones, but I don't feel like doing it. So I pre-mixed the paint the exact same way I did before, and let's get painting it. Now, it was a couple of extra steps to make this, but you now have made your game more immersive, and especially with other things. And there are plenty of more uses these have. I will show in other videos, like how you can have them as a entryway for a pillar or something else, but that's not for this video, that's for next. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.